Hey guys! Today I will show you the short recap of a 2019 romantic comedy film, Last Christmas. Get ready for the best part. Of course, the spoilers. This movie is about a lady named Kate. After recovering from a deadly health scare, she meets with a stranger while at work. Their meeting turns out to be a turning point in life. But there seems to be a twist of an event as she gets to know who he truly is. Watch the full video to know how this mysterious man was able to help reshape her life, and the truth about his identity. Before getting into the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for daily updates. The movie begins with young Kate leading a song, with a chamber choir singing along with her in Yugoslavia in 1999. Her family is present, and they are all happy watching her sing. The next scene shows her now a grown, pretty lady having a drink in a bar in London in 2017. A young man, Ed, appears to her and has a chat with her. She tells him about her upcoming audition, and he asks if she is just entering the town. She discusses her ordeal with him, and he offers to let her spend the night in his home. The following day Ed wakes her up from bed and offers her a coffee, then he sets out to get some stuff for breakfast. While taking a shower in the bathroom, Ed's girlfriend arrives and is shocked to see her. Kate tries to explain herself, but she angrily throws her out of the house with her luggage. Kate then heads to her workplace, and her boss, who is Chinese, and calls herself Santa, welcomes her and chats with her. While attending to a customer, Kate's older sister Marta comes to meet her, and she calls her boss to come to help her out. Marta scolds her for not picking up her calls, and tells her to call their mother, as she had been worried about her. Later that day, Kate dusts one of the gift items by the window and sees a man looking up, and she goes out to meet him. He is startled to see Kate, and as he shows her a bird he had been looking at, the bird poos on her face. He offers her a tissue, and Kate returns to her shop to clean up. He later comes in to check on her, and after they chat for a while, she dismisses him from the shop. Later that evening, a man walks into the shop, and Kate watches as he involves in a tense-up conversation with Santa. The man leaves and tells Santa he will come back for the gift item she showed him. Kate suddenly remembers about her audition, and quickly leaves the shop, and forgets to lock the door. Unfortunately, she arrives late for the audition but is still allowed to sing. However, she could not impress the judges, and they dismissed her. In the next scene, she is seen stomping with her luggage and bumps into the guy she met at her shop. While they were walking, she explained her ordeal to him, and he introduced his name to her as Tom. He then takes her to a secret garden, and she is excited to get to know about the place. Later that evening, before Kate leaves on a bus, she tells him about her next audition, and he is surprised to know she can't skate. He asks if she would like to go for a walk with him again, and she asks for his number instead. He reveals that he does not have a phone as it is locked up in a cupboard. Kate spends the night with her friend, Jenna. She messes things up just like the last time she came around, making Jenna and her husband, Rufus, send her out. Kate heads to her shop and finds out it was looted. Santa tells her she knows she didn't lock the door, and she had to smash the window to make it like a break-in so that she could get an insurance. Later that day, she sees Tom and tells him everything that happened. She also tells him she is homeless, and he takes her to a homeless building. She does not agree to go into the building with him, and they both leave. She calls her dad, Ivan, who comes to her rescue, and drives her home. Her mother, Petra, scolds her for not coming home and responding to calls. In the next scene, Petra takes Kate to see a doctor, as she has just had a heart transplant and missed her regular checkup appointments. The doctor advised Kate to take care of her heart and rest more. She also tells Petra to get enough rest and consider joining a club to talk with people. They then both leave the doctor's office. Later that night, Tom meets Kate in her shop, and they have a long conversation about her family. They both go for a walk, and he takes her to a ski theater. He then teaches her how to ski in preparation for her audition. Someone suddenly appears, and they quickly run away. In the next scene, Kate is in her shop, and she sees the man that came to the shop the previous day and goes to meet him. Kate tells Santa she had a visitor, and she left them to converse with each other as she attended to the customers. Kate then later heads for her audition, and she performed excellently well to the judges' satisfaction. On returning to her shop, she sees Santa preparing for a date, and she helps her out. Later that day, she heads to the homeless shelter searching for Tom. She does not see him and leaves. She heads back home, and everyone is happy to see her. A heated argument ensues, and Kate angrily talks about Marta's girlfriend, Alba. This act pisses Marta off, and she leaves for her room. Kate also leaves, and goes to a bar for a drink, before heading to the homeless shelter, where she sees Tom. She challenges him for not being around, and tells him he needs to get his phone. Tom takes her to his apartment so that they can get his phone. They both engage in a heartfelt conversation, where she tells him about her heart transplant, and he then kisses her as she sleeps. In the next scene, Kate talks with Santa about her date. She then asked if she was okay with calling him boy, as she could not pronounce his name. Santa tells her he liked it, and she also tells her he is an expert on sauerkraut, when Kate asks what he does for a living. Later that night, Kate heads to the homeless shelter, and pulls up a musical show, to get donations for the shelter. After a successful stint, she hands over all the money she made to the shelter. The next day, Santa's admirer, who she calls Boy, comes to the shop. He calls her by her real name, Huang Qin Shin. He then hands her a gift that belonged to his grandmother. She happily accepts it, and he sings for her. In the next scene, Kate continues her musical stint show at the shelter frontage, and people come through to drop their donations. She then organizes an audition show to pick up some talents to join her. Later that day, she heads to meet Tom in the garden. They both engage in an intimate moment, after which he tells her she can't depend on him. She feels he is scared of commitment and angrily leaves him. Kate goes to meet Marta at her home and bumps into her girlfriend, Alba. She apologizes for her past deed and then leaves for a bar. A guy walks toward her and offers to buy her a drink, but she rejects him and leaves. In the next scene, Kate cheers her mom up and takes her out to have fun together. She is also seen reconciling with all her friends for her past deeds. She then heads to Tom's apartment, where she meets a man named Andy. She is then caught off guard as she learns that Tom isn't alive, and he died some months back. She begins to get a flashback of everything that had occurred between them. Kate realizes she had only hallucinated, and Tom was just a ghost. Tom comes to meet her in the garden while she sat on his memorial bench. She asks why she can feel him, and he tells her it's because he is a part of her, and she should take care of his heart. In the next scene, Kate organizes a show, where she invites her family and friends, and some sets of people she newly met. Kate then performed a song solo of the Wham song, Last Christmas, and the talents she picked from the audition sang along with her as everyone danced along. The movie ends with Kate and her family having dinner along with Alba. They then sing and dance together as the scene fades off. So that is it for today, guys. Hope you had an awesome day, and do not forget to cheer people around you. If you liked the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for daily content like this.